Epstein files fury. MAGA whines about Clinton while Trump sweats bullets. Oh, here we go with the tired old MAGA screech of Clinton's on the list too. Why aren't the lefties howling for his head on a pike? As if that's some gotcha moment that's gonna make everyone forget the orange toddler in the White House who partied with Epstein like it was amateur hour at a sleazy yacht club. And now that the files are cracking open, Trump's scrambling to sick the DOJ on Bill and a few other Dems to play deflection bingo, while his own greasy fingerprints are all over those Lolita Express logs. Yeah, the fuck we are calling for investigations, you dimwits, because unlike your cult that treats politicians like infallible gods who can do no wrong as long as they wave the red hat, we on the left don't worship at the altar of power, we vote for these clowns. Fact-check their asses into next week, and remind them every damn day that they work for us, not the other way around, and if they dipped a toe into Epstein's cesspool of underage horrors, lock their sorry hides up and throw away the key, no matter if it's Clinton, Obama, or your boy Trump himself. It's gonna burn your fragile brains to grasp this, but accountability isn't a partisan piñata. It's the bare minimum for a functioning society, and while you're busy turning blind eyes to Trump's, I barely knew the guy routine, despite emails showing Epstein bragging about how Donnie knew all about the girls, we're out here demanding the full dump of those 50,000 pages and whatever else the Dodge's been hoarding like a dragon on a gold pile. Let's cut the crap and lay it out plain, because apparently some of you need a crayon-drawn map to follow along. The Epstein saga exploded back into the headlines this week when House Oversight Democrats, those pesky truth seekers led by folks like Robert Garcia, dropped a fresh batch of emails from Epstein's estate that paint a picture way uglier than your average Fox News fever dream, with mentions of Trump not just rubbing elbows but allegedly spending hours at Epstein's pad with one of the victims, and Bill Clinton popping up in docs that confirm he jetted around on that infamous plane 26 times, though his camp swears he cut ties by 2003 before the real dirt hit the fan. But here's the kicker that has MAGA melting down like a snowflake in a microwave. Democrats aren't shielding Clinton or anyone else. Hell, we've been pounding the table for full transparency since the Biden days when right-wing nuts like you were screaming about a secret client list that the DOJ flat-out said in July doesn't even exist. No blackmail tapes, no gotcha roster, just a web of sleazy connections that need airing out for the victim's sake, not your political wet dreams. Oversight Dems put out a statement this week that's crystal clear. We're fighting for every last scrap of those files, Democrat or Republican implicated be damned, because justice doesn't give a rat's ass about party colors, and if Bill's name drags him into the fire, so be it. Prosecute, indict. Whatever it takes to give those girls the reckoning they deserve after years of elites treating them like disposable party favors. Now, watch how Trump turns this into his personal circus act, because nothing says stable genius like ordering Attorney General Pam Bondi, his handpicked loyalist who's been dodging questions about the files since February, to launch a targeted probe into Clinton, Larry Summers, Reid Hoffman, and even J.P. Morgan Chase. All while conveniently ignoring the elephant in the room that's got his own trunk stamped all over it, like those 2018 emails where Epstein trash talks Michael Cohen's hush money woes and drops that bomb about knowing how dirty Donald is. Trump's Truth Social rant on Friday was pure comedy gold if it weren't so pathetic, calling it the Epstein hoax, aimed at Democrats to distract from his government shutdown fiasco that's left federal workers twiddling thumbs and the economy wheezing like an asthmatic chain smoker, then pivoting to demand investigations that his own DOJ shut down months ago for lack of evidence. All because those leaked emails have folks asking why he contributed to Epstein's 50th birthday book, with a body drawing that reeks of insider jokes no innocent bystander would touch. And get this, Bondi caved faster than a house of cards in a hurricane, appointing some SDNY prosecutor to lead the charge on Friday. But experts like former Fed Patrick Cotter are calling it outrageously inappropriate for a president to weaponize the Justice Department against political enemies, especially when the same outfit's July memo said there's zilch to justify digging into uncharged third parties, like these guys. It's deflection 101, folks. Trump promised on the campaign trail to blow the lid off Epstein, fed his base binders of recycled docs to influencers like DC Drano in February. But now that the heat's on him with those emails suggesting deeper knowledge of the trafficking ring, he's flipping the script to hunt Dems, while Republicans like House Speaker Mike Johnson block discharge petitions that could force a full release. Because God forbid the public sees how many of their America First heroes were knee-deep in the swamp. The sarcasm levels hit critical mass when you see MAGA trolls on X like that war clandestine clown crowing about how this is some genius trap. The left walked into, as if we're quaking in our boots over Clinton facing scrutiny. We're not, because we've been consistent. Release it all, investigate everyone, from Prince Andrew, who got stripped of his title last year, to Gates, who emailed Epstein post-conviction, and yeah, Trump, who banned him from Mar-a-Lago only after the stench got too rank to ignore. Posts from users like at Oversight Dems hammer it home with scans of the docs naming Clinton and Summers, already public but now in the spotlight, and left-leaning voices from Lindy lie back in July to everyday folks this week are blunt. Lock him up if guilty, no favorites. Because this isn't about scoring points in your endless culture war. It's about dismantling a system where billionaires and ex-presidents trafficked kids like they were catering trays. And the victims, those brave women like Virginia Giuffre who called out Andrew and kept fighting, deserve more than partisan finger-pointing. Hell, even Reid Hoffman fired back on X, demanding Trump drop every file to clear the air, calling the probe political persecution, while Clinton's spokesman dismissed it as noise. To dodge shutdown blame, but the real tell is how Trump's pulling endorsements from allies like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who dared push for transparency, labeling her a ranting lunatic gone far left for wanting the truth over his narrative. This whole mess exposes the rotting core of MAGA blind loyalty. You lot treat Trump like he's Teflon-coated, fact-checking nothing but your own echo chamber, while ignoring how his admin's subpoenas from Comer targeted Clinton's and Obama-era officials, but stalled on real releases. And now, with the House gearing up for a vote on the Epstein Files Transparency Act next week, it's clear the pressure's building from all sides, Dems via petitions, even some Republicans fed up with the stonewalling. But let's be real, if Trump really wanted justice, he'd greenlight the full, unredacted dump instead of this selective witch hunt that reeks of self-preservation, because deep down, we all know the files cut both ways. Implicating elites across the aisle who thought island getaways were just networking schmoozes. The left's stance. Simple as it gets. No one's above the law, not your draft-dodging hero, not mine. Release the files, let the chips fall, and if it means Perp walks from Chappaqua to Bedminster, bring the popcorn. Because accountability long overdue for this cabal of creeps who hid behind power, while girls' lives got shredded. And while we're at it, spare me the hypocrisy lectures from a crowd that cheered January 6 like it was the Super Bowl but cries foul over a subpoena. We've been holding our own feet to the fire since day one, calling out Clinton's flights, Gates meetings, anyone who touched that poison. Because real progress means cleaning house top to bottom, not cherry-picking villains to fit your revenge porn. Trump's move here. It's the desperate flail of a man who sees the walls closing in with UN. Experts and victims, advocates piling on about how these delays let perpetrators skate, and if MAGA can't wrap their heads around the fact that we don't idolize politicians, we grill them, vote them out, and demand they serve time if the evidence sticks. Then tough shit. Stay in your bubble while the rest of us fight for a country where power answers to people, not the other way around. Bottom line, release the damn files already. The truth's been buried long enough under layers of lies and lawyer fees, and no amount of Trump's tantrums or your whataboutism changes that these horrors demand daylight, prosecutions, and a reckoning that spares no one. Because anything less is just more elite ass-covering dressed up as justice. Bubba Bombshell. Epstein emails drop a gross Trump twist. Holy shit, we just learned more about this whole Bubba situation that's got the internet exploding like a bad burrito after midnight. And let me tell you, it's the kind of twisted crap that makes you question if the Epstein files are a comedy roast gone wrong or just another layer of elite sleaze peeling back to reveal Trump's underbelly in all its orange-tinted glory. Because an email from Jeffrey's brother Mark Straightup asks if Putin has photos of Donald Trump blowing Bubba. And while the MAGA denial squad is out here screeching that it's all fake news or some inside joke about fishing buddies, the rest of us with half a brain are wondering what fresh hell this unlocks about the manchild in the Oval Office who promised to drain the swamp, but keeps diving headfirst into its muck. These 23,000 emails dumped by the House Oversight Committee on November 12, 2025, aren't just dusty relics from a dead pedophile's inbox. They're a goddamn treasure trove of oh fuck moments that have Democrats pushing for more releases, Republicans scrambling to bury the bad bits, and social media turning Donica Lewinsky. That's the viral mashup of Donnie and Monica, because apparently Trump's getting the blowjob narrative flipped on him like karmic justice served cold into the meme of the week, while old pics of Trump and Clinton yucking it up at parties resurface like zombies from a bad 90s thriller. Break it down for the slow kids in the back, because this isn't some abstract conspiracy fluff. The email in question, dated March 2018, has Mark Epstein firing off to his brother Jeffrey about chatting up Steve Bannon, yeah, that slimy ex-Trump whisperer, and slipping in this gem. Ask him if Putin has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba, with Jeffrey firing back something about tsuris, Yiddish for troubles, like they're swapping locker room zingers over who owes who a favor in this web of international dirt digging. And Bubba. Come on, that's Bill Clinton's nickname since his Arkansas hayseed days, the one he leaned into like a folksy badge of honor. But here's the hilarious part. Mark Epstein's out there today, November 16, 2025, through spokespeople and statements to Newsweek and Snopes, swearing up and down that nah. It ain't Bill, it's some other random Bubba, no details given, just a humorous private exchange between two brothers that somehow ends up in congressional files and viral hellscapes. Bullshit detectors blaring red, folks, because if it's not Clinton, why not spill the beans on who this mystery meat is? And why does it feel like the classic Epstein playbook of half-truths and hedges that keep the powerful squirming without ever landing a knockout punch? Trump's response. Classic deflection derby, of course, because nothing says I'm innocent like sixing Attorney General Pam Bondi on Clinton's ass for involvement and relationship with Epstein, while your own name pops up in threads claiming you knew about the girls, as he asked Ghislaine to stop. Or calling Epstein that dog that hasn't barked in chats with Maxwell, or bragging to Michael Wolff that you're the one who can take Trump down because you hold the dirt. He's downplaying the whole scandal in that cringy SNL cold open last night, where James Austin Johnson's spot-on impersonation had him hawking merch with, "Does Putin have the photo of Trump blowing Bubba?" Scrawled on it, turning the White House briefing room into a flea market of excuses, while Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, played to oily perfection by Ashley Padilla, poo-poos it all as Dem deep state sabotage. But let's be real, this ain't just late-night laughs. It's Congress gearing up for votes on the Epstein Files Transparency Act, with oversight Dems like Robert Garcia waving scans of docs that tie Trump to hours at Epstein's pad with victims. And even Reid Hoffman and Larry Summers getting dragged in, all while Trump's pulling endorsements from allies like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who dared demand full disclosure, labeling her a ranting lunatic gone rogue. The sarcasm's thicker than Epstein's little black book when MAGA trolls flood X with, "But Clinton flew the plane 26 times. Whataboutism, ignoring how we've been calling for probes on everyone since day one. No sacred cows, no blind eyes. Because unlike your blind faith cult that worships Trump like he's the second coming of steak and Diet Coke, we hold politicians' feet to the fire, fact-check their asses, and scream. Lock 'em up if the evidence sticks, whether it's Bill's flights or Donnie's barely knew him, lies that crumbled faster than his casino empires. This Bubba email. It's the cherry on a shit sundae of revelations, showing Epstein trash-talking Trump as untrustworthy slime who cooperated with victims' lawyers only to stay off the hook, while Russiagate echoes in threads confirming it was all smoke. But hey, at least now we've got Putin allegedly hoarding compromat that makes Watergate look like a kiddie pool splash fight. Victims like Virginia Giuffre, who testified Trump was clean back in the day, deserve the full unredacted truth, not this partisan ping-pong where Trump weaponizes the DOJ against foes and blocks releases to shield his own sorry hide. Bottom line, this Bubba. Bombshell ain't going away no matter how many spokespeople Mark Epstein trots out or how loud Trump rants about hoaxes on Truth Social. It's another nail in the coffin of his Teflon myth, proving the files cut deep across aisles, but hit hardest at the guy who banned Epstein from Mar-a-Lago only after the bodies started dropping questions. If there's a photo, a tape, or even a whisper of proof, cough it up. Vlad, America could use the laugh or the impeachment ammo, whichever lands first, because in this clown car of a presidency, the only thing getting blown harder than whatever Bubba situation is the illusion that Trump's above it all. Release the rest, investigate every name, and watch the swamp finally drain itself in a flood of well-deserved shame. I just want to thank you all, like, share, and follow to stay connected. I am Santiago del Carmen Maria, the Queen of Crowning Thoughts, because I say it like it is. Copyright 2025 independent writer, Crowning Thoughts truth speaker, AI video content creator, writer, blogger Santiago DC Maria. All rights reserved.